Breaking news: Uphold justice, equality, fair play in Nnamdi Kanu's trial on terrorism charges. Igbos in diaspora tells judge. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning in and listening to this headline that we brought for you this morning. As the headline says that uphold justice, equality, fair play in Nnamdi Kanu's trial on terrorism charges. Igbos in despair tells judge. It is stated here that the Igbos in diaspora have again canvassed for justice, equality, and fair play in the trial of terrorism offences brought against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB) Nnamdi Kanu by the federal government. The group specifically pleaded with the trial judge, Justice Binta Nwankwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja, not to tit in favor of the federal government, but the trial to uphold fairness and the sanctity of the judiciary in resolving the matter. In an open letter to the judge, the Igbos in diaspora, operating under the aegis of the American Veteran of Igbo Descent (AVID), asked Justice Nwankwo to follow the dictates of Nigerian Constitution and relevant laws to do justice and free Nnamdi Kanu from charges. In the letter signed by Dr. Sylvester Onya and Goodson Obiagu, AVID President and Secretary respectively, they begged the judge to consider the admonitions of the Supreme Court that the bail earlier granted on him ought to have been revoked. Justice Nwankwo had earlier refused the oral application for bail urged by Kanu's led counsel Elo Ejimako, and directed that the request had to be made in written on the ground that the Federal High Court is a court of record. But the group said that the request should have been granted in view of the deteriorating health condition of the IPOB leader. The same person who was conscious of unjust arrest, and even after fleeing from his home due to government invasion, he continued to face unjust imprisonment. His parents were also subjected to physical, emotional, and mental torture, leading to their death. Injustice to Kanu, injustice everywhere. The Court of Appeal in Abuja had last year discharged Kanu's from terrorism charge against him by the federal government and ordered his immediate unconditional release. The federal government appealed the judgment at the Supreme Court, which government won, but the court, in a comment upside the judgment, held that Kanu's bail ought to have been revoked. Meanwhile, Justice Binta will on May 20, 2024 rule on the request of restoration Kanu's revoked bail and the removal of custody of the Department of State Services to house arrest or prison custody. The court fixed the date after taking arguments from Kanu's legal team led by Alo Ejimako and that the federal government, represented by Adegboya Awomolo SAN, Kanu, who have been in detention since 2021, in a motion argued by Ejimako, requested the court to restore the bail granted on him in 2017 by the same judge. He told the court that, contrary to the claim of the federal government, he did not jump bail or breached to any condition of the bail, but he had to escape out of the country when the military allegedly invaded his house. He told the court that he would have been killed if he had not escaped the way he did, and accused the federal government of misleading the court to get the bail revoked in his absence. He also asked the court to set aside the arrest warrant issued against him by the court while he was out of the country. In a separate motion, he also argued by the legal team. Kanu requested for his removal from custody of the DSS to a house arrest, or in alternative, or remand him in prison. Besides, he asked that his lawyer must be allowed unhindered access to him to enable him prepare for his defense in the terrorism charges against him, adding that until those conditions are met by the federal government in line with Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution, he would not submit himself for trial. However, the federal legal team led by Adebayo Owomolo SAN opposed granting all the requests made by Kanu. The senior lawyer said in criminal matters, no defendant has the right to dictate to court how his prosecution would be conducted. Awomolo told the court that Kanu was once admitted to bail but breached the bail by escaping out of the country under false claims. The senior lawyer argued that the fresh request of bail by Kanu is a gross abuse of court process, having to be rejected earlier by the same court, adding the only opposition open to the defendant is to go to court of appeal, challenging his rejection since the High Court cannot overrule itself. And that is not all what you can say under this headline, which states for us that uphold justice, equality, fair play in Nnamdi Kanu's trial on terrorism charges. Igbos in diaspora tells judge. Like the headline says, it says that the Igbos of diaspora are telling the judge, that is Justice Binta Awonkwo, the one in charge of the Nnamdi Kanu's case of the Federal High Court in Abuja, telling her to uphold justice and fair play concerning Nnamdi Kanu's case and trial. They are saying that you have to uphold justice. You must not rule concerning what the federal government say you should do. You must rule concerning justice and following the constitution, following the 1996 constitution, meaning that there must be justice and fair play when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu's trial. There should not be any favoritism. They also says the crime and allegation that Nnamdi Kanu was forcefully accused of, saying that he jumped bail, but Nnamdi Kanu said that he didn't jump bail, saying that he was escaping from the military personnel who came to invade his house, trying to kill him. He said that he did that to save his life. And he was later apprehended in Kenya and then brought in Nigeria for the allegations of saying he jumped bail. But after many months trial, Nnamdi Kanu said that he must be removed from the DSS custody because the way they are treating him there, he doesn't like it. Saying that he must be, he made a lot of that was sent to the court, and even the judge concerning the federal government, that is Awolowo, says that no prisoner will have the right to tell the court how he has to be persecuted, saying that you ran away from the country when you were on bail, and you also